We spend so much time watching other people live their best lives online, watching them get the praise, the looks, and the success, that it becomes dangerously easy to start hating the person we actually are. You start editing your laugh, changing your style, and holding back your real thoughts just to fit into a mold that was never made for you. It feels like a survival tactic, but in reality, it is a slow way of erasing yourself. Think about how we navigate a normal day at school or online. You walk into a room, see a group of people, and instantly shift your posture. You hear a joke you do not think is funny, but you laugh anyway because everyone else is laughing. You scroll through your feed and see someone who looks like they have it all figured out, so you copy their style, their slang, and their interests. We treat our personalities like software updates, constantly downloading new versions of what we think society wants from us. We do it to feel safe and to avoid being left out. But here is the strangest contradiction of growing up today. The more you try to look like everyone else, the more invisible you actually feel. We change everything about ourselves to be noticed, yet when people praise the fake version of us, it does not make us feel good. It just makes us feel like frauds. You get the likes, you get the superficial approval, but inside you feel emptier than before. You are trapped in a loop where you are terrified of people finding out who you really are, while simultaneously feeling deeply lonely because nobody actually knows the real you. You wanted to be noticed, but by hiding your true self, you ensured that you never truly would be. There was a philosopher a long time ago named Soren Kierkegaard who figured this out before smartphones and social media ever existed. He talked about a man who desperately wanted to become an emperor. On the surface, it sounds like a grand ambition, a dream worth chasing. But Kierkegaard looked deeper and realized something tragic. Even if that man actually became the emperor, he would not truly be happy. Why? Because the only reason he wanted to be an emperor in the first place was that he absolutely hated being himself. By achieving his dream, he effectively murdered his old self to put on a crown. Kierkegaard called this deep, aching unhappiness the ultimate form of despair. He said that true despair is not just failing an exam or going through a breakup. True despair is when you want to shun yourself, when you do not possess yourself, and when you are simply not yourself. When you spend your energy trying to be someone else, you are basically telling your own soul that it is not good enough to exist. It is a quiet internal warfare where you are both the bully and the victim. This psychological concept explains why so many of us feel anxious and burnt out, even when things seem fine on the outside. We are exhausted, not because we are doing too much, but because we are pretending too much. It takes a massive amount of mental energy to maintain a mask every single day. You have to constantly remember what you are supposed to like, how you are supposed to react, and who you are supposed to impress. You become a character in a movie about your own life, watching yourself from the audience instead of actually living it. But there is a way out of this trap, and it requires a massive perspective shift. Kierkegaard offered a beautifully simple solution. He said that to will to be that self which one truly is indeed the opposite of despair. Peace does not come from finally fixing yourself or finally becoming the perfect version of someone else. Peace comes when you find the courage to just be who you actually are right now, with all your quirks, your messy thoughts, and your incomplete pieces. Despair completely evaporates the moment you stop denying your true nature and start accepting it. Imagine the freedom of walking into a room and not caring if you are the coolest person there, because you are perfectly content just being you. Imagine posting something online because you actually like it, not because you calculated how many views it would get. When you stop trying to run away from yourself, you finally give yourself permission to grow. You cannot improve a house you refuse to live in, and you cannot build a meaningful life if you are constantly trying to inhabit someone else's identity. This idea is so powerful that it birthed an entire wave of modern psychology. It influenced great thinkers and therapists who realized that human beings only heal when they feel safe enough to drop their guards. You do not need to become an emperor, a celebrity, or a flawless influencer to be worthy of space in this world. Your responsibility is not to the expectations of the crowd, but to the truth of your own existence. So take a deep breath and let go of the pressure to perform. The world is already full of copies, but it is desperately starved for original souls. Stop chasing a crown that requires you to leave your true self behind. The most rebellious, powerful, and peaceful thing you can ever do in a world that constantly tells you to change is to simply choose to be exactly who you are.